Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely shift how you think about happiness. For so long, society has kind of conditioned us to believe that happiness is just a byproduct of our environment, right? Like it's just a reaction to the things that happen to us, the stuff we buy, or just plain dumb luck. But the source material we're unpacking today tells a completely different and honestly, deeply empowering story. It reveals that happiness isn't just something you sit around waiting for. It is something you physically build.
So, let's dive into this by asking a question that has probably baffled all of us at some point. Have you ever wondered why you can look at someone who seemingly has it all, the wealth, the success, the status, and yet they are profoundly unhappy? And then, on the flip side, you meet people facing literally incredible hardships who just radiate this undeniable steady joy. It seems like a total paradox. Well, psychology and neurochemistry actually have a very clear answer for this.
The answer to that paradox lies in the absolute core premise of our source material, neurochemistry. Happiness is a highly trainable state. Think about what happens when you go to the gym. You lift weights, you apply stress to your muscles, and over time, they grow and reshape. Well, your brain works in a remarkably similar way. Through really small, everyday habits, you can literally rewire your brain cells to default to a happier state. We're going to look at 7 specific psychological secrets to train your brain to do exactly that.
To make this super practical, we've organized these habits into a chronological daily blueprint. Section 1, Morning Chemical Balance, Setting the Tone.
Okay, before we get to the very first habit, we really need to understand the role of dopamine in our brains. Dopamine is the chemical that gives our lives a sense of excitement and enthusiasm. It's that thrill of the chase. However, when you spike your dopamine levels unnaturally and instantly, your brain just can't sustain it. What goes up artificially fast must come crashing down. And that crash, it leaves you feeling completely exhausted, empty, and just heavy for the rest of the day.
That brings us to habit number 1, controlling your morning dopamine. Let's be real, so many of us wake up and immediately reach for our phones, usually with one eye still closed. Psychologically, doing this is literally like opening up a casino inside your brain. You have no idea what that next post will be. It's a chaotic brainstorm. This gives your brain extreme instant stimulation, instantly spiking your dopamine. But because it crashes just as fast, it drains your energy right out of the gate. The solution here? Protect your first hour. Keep it phone-free to maintain a stable, calm energy.
The crucial point here is that we want to completely replace that chaotic morning dopamine with a steady flow of something else entirely, serotonin. While dopamine gives you those quick hits of fleeting excitement, serotonin is your brain's ultimate mood stabilizer. It doesn't give you a sudden rush. Instead, it provides this deep, continuous, and grounded sense of peace that actually lasts throughout the entire day.
And that naturally leads us to habit number 2, which is incredibly simple but biologically profound. Within the first hour of waking up, you need to get outside and expose yourself to natural sunlight for just 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. You don't have to be doing some intense workout or anything. You are just simply existing in natural morning light. Just stepping outside gives your brain such a healthy start because it kicks off this amazing biological chain reaction. First, it regulates your biological clock, your circadian rhythm. Second, that light actually signals your brain to start producing that steady flow of serotonin we were just talking about. And third, and this is amazing, this morning habit directly dictates how well you're going to sleep tonight. By setting your internal clock early, your body knows exactly when to wind down later.
All right, let's move into the middle of our day. Section 2, Action and Rest, Navigating the Day.
Habit 3 is all about waking up your endorphins. Listen, you don't need to spend hours at the gym lifting heavy weights. Just 20 minutes of simple movement, like a brisk walk or some light yoga, is completely enough. Why? Because when you physically exert yourself, your brain interprets that physical effort as a mild form of stress. In response, it deploys endorphins. These basically act as your body's natural painkillers, instantly lowering your anxiety and leaving your mind feeling incredibly light and refreshed.
Now, a lot of people struggle with habit 3 because they wait around to feel motivated before they actually exercise. But remember this incredibly powerful psychological reality from the source material. Motivation comes after action. If you're sitting on the couch waiting for the desire to go for a walk to magically hit you, you'll be waiting forever. You have to start the action first, and then the brain catches up and provides the motivation to keep going.
Moving to habit 4, we really have to address a massive daily burden. 60,000. Research shows that this is the staggering number of thoughts racing through a human mind every single day. We are constantly thinking, stressing, and processing. It is just an overwhelming amount of data for your brain to handle without ever taking a break.
So, habit 4 is giving your brain a much-needed timeout from those 60,000 thoughts. Taking just a few minutes a day to step away from the TV and the phone can drastically build your emotional intelligence. Try this. Turn off the screens, close your eyes, focus on your breath, and here's the absolute key: don't fight the thoughts that come in. Instead of wrestling with them, just calmly observe them passing by. This tiny little pause trains your focus and builds incredible emotional resilience.
Moving right along, Section 3, Decisions and Mental Food, Fueling the Mind.
Let's look at habit 6, which warns us about something called decision fatigue. Every single time you make a choice, whether it's staring blankly into the fridge for breakfast, wondering which shoes to wear, or which route to take to work, your brain burns a tiny bit of energy. If you make way too many of these trivial choices early in the morning, your brain becomes completely exhausted by noon.
You can actually avoid this trap by simply planning ahead. There is a very real reason why some of the most successful people in the world are famous for wearing the exact same style of clothing every single day. They are actively hoarding their brain energy for decisions that actually matter. And you can do this too. Plan your clothes, your meals, your schedule the night before. Because a brain that isn't tired out by trivial morning choices is fundamentally a happier, much more productive brain.
Habit 7 addresses our mental diet, which is perfectly captured by this famous computer science concept: garbage in, garbage out. Basically, if you input bad data into a system, you get bad results out. Well, your brain works the exact same way. We spend so much time obsessing over the physical food we put into our bodies, making sure it's healthy, organic, whatever, but we entirely ignore the mental food we feed our brains.
If you start your day filling your head with negative news, toxic gossip, or just meaningless content, you're physically rewiring your brain's structure for negativity and anxiety. Instead, you need to expose your mind to things that grow your intellect. Read a book, listen to something educational, consume content that actually challenges you. If you feed your brain high-quality fuel, it will absolutely reward you with clarity and happiness.
As our day winds down, we hit Section 4, Overcoming Negativity, the evening wrap-up.
This brings us to habit 5, tackling a deeply relatable, shared human struggle known as the negative bias. From an evolutionary standpoint, our brains are literally wired to quickly grasp onto negative things rather than positive ones. It was a survival mechanism back in the day. This is exactly why you can have 10 amazing things happen to you today, but if one person criticizes you, you're gonna lie in bed tonight obsessing over that one bad event. We are hardwired to constantly look for our own flaws.
But you don't have to be a victim to this biological bias. You can actively rewire your brain to see the positive by practicing a really simple evening routine. Right before you fall asleep, just force your brain to acknowledge one small success from the day. Practice deep gratitude for something good that happened, and, like we discussed earlier, pre-plan tomorrow's trivial decisions. Over time, this literally trains your brain to automatically scan the world for the good rather than the bad.
Finally, Section 5. Start with one habit, your blueprint.
Looking back at all 7 of these habits, please remember this critical warning from the source material. Do not, under any circumstances, try to implement all of these tomorrow morning. If you try to change everything at once, you're just going to get overwhelmed and give up. The secret to reshaping your neurochemistry is consistency. Pick just 1 or 2 of these habits that feel manageable to you right now. Master them, make them effortless, and then slowly add the rest over time to build your perfect, customized routine.
We've learned today that true happiness isn't something that just magically falls out of the sky. It is a trainable skill. It's a neurochemical state that we construct through our daily actions. So I want to leave you with this final thought to explore. Which single habit will you commit to starting today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this helps you build a happier, healthier brain.